Did you relocate or you come here occasionally? What's the situation?
I relocated 6 years ago.
What? So I was
It's
bagaging.
just that no, I do a lot of business between here and Swaziland, so that's why people are never sure whether I stay here or in Swaziland. Because
Yeah.
1 minute you see me posting here, the next minute I'm in Swaziland, I'm at an
We can't
event,
we
or
can't keep up, babe.
so
We can't keep up.
you know.
But for those who aren't familiar with what you do, because you are doing quite a lot, you're doing a whole lot, babes. Just introduce yourself. Who
Mhm.
are you? Who is Mbali? And yeah.
Okay, so Mbali Nxumalo is a born and bred in Swaziland businesswoman who is now based in SA.
Mm.
I have an accounting degree, well, a background in accounting and a postgrad. Initially, I was supposed to be a chartered accountant, but business got the better of me and I went the entrepreneurial route. I run multiple businesses at the same time, basically because I don't like getting bored, also because I want to be rich.
Of
So if
course.
you are trying to create wealth,
Yeah,
if you're trying to create wealth, you find yourself involved in a lot of things. I'm
Mm.
popularly known for Fashion Dash Couture, which is my fashion brand, my clothing brand, hence what I'm wearing.
Oh, that is
And
cool.
Crown Necessity, which is basically a hair beauty brand. But I do a lot of other things in the background, such as property. I have shares in an IT company. I do a
What?
bit of transport, but small scale transport, not big transport. But yeah, hopefully one day it will turn into that. So I do a lot of things, and I have a lot of other things going on. But I'm also very passionate about empowering people,
Mm.
especially the youth, especially aspiring entrepreneurs, especially small and medium enterprise entrepreneurs, because I feel like there's such a gap between how people used to run businesses 5 years ago, 10 years ago to now. So with that, I find myself doing a lot of small scale business coaching. Most of it for now is one-on-one, which I do enjoy a lot because I mean, you can tell I love talking. I can
Yeah.
literally talk all day. And I just feel also
Mm.
And I just feel also I've had quite an experience in the business space because I literally started from nothing and I am where I am now. And it can't just be a hoax. It
Mm.
must clearly mean there's something that I must know that probably I put to work and it has worked for me.
And also you rise by lifting others. So as you grow, you help others grow, which is what you're doing. But my main concern right now, I'm curious, how do you juggle everything? Because you are doing so much. How do you stay centered and grounded and sane?
Time management, I'll be honest with you. You don't get it right every day, but again, it goes back to having experience in the business space. Because at some point, as you're doing a certain business, as you're building it up, it gets to a level where it doesn't need you every day.
Mm.
It gets to a level where you are able to delegate the time or the activities to somebody else, and then you just come in as an overseer or on a managerial
Yeah,
sort of position. Not
project
to say you
management.
forget about the business, but you stop doing the runaround every day.
Mm.
And what that has done for me is allow me space to then build and invest in other businesses, whether it's my hair business or whether it's me taking courses online to try and improve my other businesses.
Yeah.
I've now found myself having to have the time because of how I've set up the other businesses to sort of run seamlessly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, Shem. I'm
It
not going to
sounds
sit
like
here and lie and be like,
sounds like a
oh
lot.
yeah, no, we get it done. No, you need to be deliberate about it. And that's the only way to get it done. You just need to know this is where I am, this is where I want to go. So if I want to get there, this is what I need to put in.
Of course.
And that's what you basically do.
Have you always been very focused, or it's something you had to learn, something business taught you, or you've just always been girl who knows what she wants from her life?
Um, I think I've always kind of been just taking it from the fact that I grew up an A student. So at the time when you're young, what I focused on was my schoolwork, getting good grades, because I figured if you've got good grades, then you're going to get a scholarship from the government. Yeah, so I was more focused on that. I used to be the child who would come back from school because where I stayed was a big homestead, Gumatsapa, and there were a lot of kids there. but our level of education with the kids that were around me was not the same. For example, I went to Malcolm's Valley School, which was kind of like a better school, so to speak, and Mona, they would go to schools around Matapa. So yeah, so what I discovered was because of the school that I went to, it almost made me seem like I knew a bit better, even though we were on the same grades with the kids. So what I'll do after school is come back and teach extra lessons.
Was it free? Were you doing it for free?
No, I was charging 30 rand a child per month.
I stand a queen.
I'm just trying to highlight that in a certain way, one way or another, I kind of knew the kind of person I was in terms of always being entrepreneurial, always trying to sell something, lollipops, sweets, ice cream, ice. Let's say if plastic in, say I can't six so it was six at the time. I don't think it's six so yeah, doing that.
Girl, like my mom would only buy cigs or tini oros asiati.
Okay, so it's six yeah. So I'd make my ice using that. I was just always that kid who, was always up to something. I think probably by the age of 8, I was now at the point where literally my mom would not buy me clothes because I'd make so much money from the other enterprises that I have. Come month end, I'd just collect my money, get onto a kumbi, basapatal, I think 250 figure open from Matapa. Go to Matapa, I think, go to Manzini and then buy from whatever jet and whatever. And then they introduced Mr. Price and Babane at that girl month end, 5 rand a sprint 10, Babane to go and shop. So when I look back on that, I can't say I kind of stumbled upon this. This is why I feel like, for me, it's something I often say, I need people to be deliberate about where their life is going.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you sit back 10 years later, you need to be able to say, no wonder I'm here. It's because 10 years ago, I started plowing in and started being deliberate and started taking the right decisions, started educating myself, etc. You will not have that by chance, by waking up in the morning and then, ta-da, you're successful. Unless you win the lotto.
Like, how possible even?
One chance in a million. So, yeah.
Why do you think that is? That some people are driven and others just, they okay with where they at? Kubanga yini? Like...
You know what? I struggle a lot with the okay where you are statement because a lot of people don't like certain people because they are successful. Then it says to me, you want to be successful. You just probably don't know how, or you're too lazy to try. Because success is a lot of work. Yesterday, I was listening to a webinar, Robert Kiyosaki, and he was saying, it's okay if you want to remain poor. I don't mind. That's not what I want.
Yeah.
And I felt like it's a rude statement if you listen to it, but it's the truth. That's not what he wants.
Yeah.
As a result, he's found in time to build an empire for himself so he can live a rich life because that's what he wanted, So in my mind, if you're okay with where your life is and you're okay with the life that doesn't have proper direction, like there's people who don't know where they want to be in 3 years' time. Do you want to be educated? Do you want another certificate? Do you want a promotion at work? Like, you don't know. Yeah, that's my problem. So I don't know. I've always been someone who felt like I deserved more, but I've always understood also based on reading and following certain people that more doesn't come just because I want it. More will come because I worked for it. More will come because I've set things in motion to open up my life for opportunities so that when opportunities come, they find me ready to take them and fly with them.
It reminds me of how everyone is so stuck on manifesting these days. They just want to look into a jar of water and wish their life into, what they want it to be. What's your take on that? Like, are we not being educated properly on how to properly manifest? Do you believe in manifesting, visualizing?
I'm a big believer, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the holier than thou Christian, but I'm a believer in God. And I'm a believer that God blesses us. I'm also a believer of God blessing people who've worked for it. God has placed in each of us certain talents. You will not manifest anything if the talents that God has given you, you just keep them with you.
Yeah.
The idea of manifestation is that you identify your talent, you take it, you run with it. Nowadays, running with it basically means turn it into money,
Yeah.
turn it into financial freedom,
Monetize
turn
it.
it into a business.
Hmm.
God is not going to give you that talent and then wake you up every day and say, hey, go
Yeah.
and do the talent.
Wola.
Hey, take the talent there.
True. True. It's not
It's
easy.
not going to happen,
Yeah.
you know?
So true.
Yeah, and I think a lot of young people, I think it's social media that's destroying them because right now everyone on social media looks made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
follow celebrities. Yeah, we follow celebrities. For example, I like following Monang and a whole lot of other celebrities. But
Yeah.
when you read their stories, these people have been in the media industry for 15, 16, 17 years, which basically means this person has been plowing their talent for the past 17 years. So when they get recognized by global brands, when they get recognized to be the face of what, how can you blame them? Because they are not sitting inside their houses hoping someone will discover them. They
Yeah.
went out there
They are
and put themselves out.
working. We're
It's
such
not going to happen.
we're such a lazy generation. We honestly are. I just want to find better light right now because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I look very chocolate, but that's not the look I'm going for. I thought I was looking cute, and then I'm like, nah, fam, that's not what we're going for. Okay, this is much better. So you quit your
Okay.
9 to 5, your 8 to 5, 9 to 5, and you started a business. What was that exact moment when you knew that Yatini, I want to pursue this?
Ooh. I started realizing one morning when I woke up, as usual during the week. I bathed, I got ready for work, I got into my car, and I got onto the highway. So somewhere along the highway, there's many off ramps that you can take and do a U-turn to go back to where you're coming from. And one morning I did that. While sitting in traffic, while trying to get to work, I just decided I don't want to go to work. My off ramper
What?
took a different off ramp, did a U-turn, came back to the highway that I was on, but on the opposite side, heading back to my house. At the
Are
time,
you
it was a flat. Yeah, heading back to my flat, just feeling like, you know what, I don't want to go to work. I'm funi, like I'm funi,
like
you know? Yeah, and then just before I got to the house, I thought to myself, you know what? There's so many people who want jobs. And when you have a job, and here you are playing around with your job by doing a U-turn instead of going to work. I did another U-turn to go back to the highway that I was initially on and drove to work. And I got to work late that day, you know, something which was unusual because I was used to getting to work before 8. I was that girl, probably one of the first 2 people who are going to come into the office because of the experience I'd had working in Swaziland. That's how the company worked. People would be at work by 7. So it was nothing new for me even here. But that day I was late. That was my turning point. That's when I realized, you know what? Something's got to give. I'm tired of this. I'm not happy in this auditing. At the time I was doing auditing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy in this auditing business. I'm not happy in this lifestyle of coming back from work, needing to study for my CTA, blah, 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 blah. And I had a very difficult time, to be quite honest with you, because it was the one thing that I was known for, because I was a smart kid. So the idea was I'm going to qualify, be a chartered accountant because I have the brains for it. I can do it. And realizing that I might not get there was such a heartbreaking moment for me. I used to spend days crying because I just couldn't reconcile why I suddenly had so much lack of energy for this. The thing that had been my identifier for the longest of time. I had left Swaziland to come here to further my studies. I was going to go back home a failure.
Yeah.
You know,
I know those emotions.
really, yeah, it was a really weird moment for me. But then I started thinking, do you mean to tell me all the people who are rich? Because remember, I wanted to be rich. That's my goal, you know. So I started thinking, all the people who are rich, are you trying to tell me they all have a qualification and then went to work in a big corporation and then earned the money and then woke up the following day rich? Then I started thinking, that doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
What else is out there that can take me from where I am to where I want to be ideally in life, you know? And then I started business. I've always been an entrepreneur. When I was at university, I used to come here at Jozi, a small street, to buy stuff to go back home to go and sell
Wow.
to the
Yeah.
university students. Yeah. At some point, I used to sell synthetic hair. Lebeni Chupe Mozambique. Like Saturday, I'd go get into a taxi to Mozambique and go to Mozambique and come back up soon with my extensions. So when I started looking back on all those things, I thought, no, man, had I actually really focused on those things at the time with the kind of brain that I have, a smart brain, I'd have been able to multiply this a long time ago, such that I'd probably be 4 steps ahead than where I am today.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was my turning point. I thought to myself, no, there must be a way, another way to be rich. There must be another way to end up driving a Porsche. There must be another way to end up having a double-story, 4-bedroom house with a double garage and glass
Yeah.
windows and long big
Yeah.
chandeliers. I just thought to myself, there must be another way. And I'm not saying education is not important. I'd already gotten a university education.
It's so important.
I'd gone through high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd gone through high school, I'd gotten a tertiary education, I'd gotten a postgrad. I think education-wise, I had hit it.
Yeah.
And I do have friends who've gone on to become chartered accountants, and they're doing very well. And they are happy because for them, that's who they are.
Yeah, that's their dream.
At some point, I got to a point where I was like, this is not my dream. This was okay when I thought it was going to get me to a point where I'm going to make money and live well. But I realized that's not the only way I could be able to do that. Hence, I started this very difficult and interesting journey of being an entrepreneur.
What I'm also curious about, like, what are some of the lessons and challenges running your own business has taught you?
Oh my gosh, damn. Wow, man. I have grown significantly as a person since I went into business. Because business will teach you to be humble. Business will teach you to be disciplined. Business will teach you to take accountability for your actions. Business will teach you to read and investigate and research because you want to expand. So you need to know what you're expanding into. Business will teach you how to be an investor because now you're making a bit of money, but now you need to take that money, plow it into something else so that it keeps growing. Business will teach you that. Business will teach you failure. It will make failing seem like the most natural thing. A lot of people that I talk to when it comes to starting their businesses, they're afraid that it will fail. They're afraid that it's not going to work. When you're in business, your first thought process when you're trying something new is, this might not work.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you're okay with that because you've realized that if the thing doesn't work, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. A lesson that prepares you to be prepared for the next time you try this out.
Yeah, that's so good. Perspective. That's honestly amazing. And you've got Mbali Talks right now. You equipping us with so much knowledge and everything. Just before I sign off, where do you see Mbali Talks 5 years from now, and where do you also see yourself 5 years from now?
Mbali Talks 5 years from now, my ideal idea for Mbali Talks is being able to bring exposure to small businesses. Because businesses like mine, when they're starting out, it's very hard to be known. You're a one name person, you're not a celebrity, and you're just starting out. So my ideal space would be getting to a point where however we position the show or the production, it has to do, or one of the things that it has to do with is putting spotlight on small businesses and saying, here's a platform that you can write to that will come and interview you and check out your space if you have a space, just so that people can see you on this platform, follow you maybe, and then you get customers like that. That's one of the things I really am looking forward to. Also, what I'm looking forward to is being a life coach. I often feel like some people, it's not that they don't want, they just don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And I have a talent for it. I can't run away from it. It would be nice to sit here and be very modest about it and say, no, I'm not sure,
Okay.
but no.
Don't down.
I'm owning it, girl. You know. And then there's also charitable things that I'd like to really get into. I do them on a small scale because right now I don't have the time to be hands on with it. So what I normally do is find people that are actually doing it, and then I just donate and contribute and help where I can, maybe even expose, talk to my people to contribute and whatever. But that's something that I want to have going on a full-time basis under what we are building or under what I'm building, to have it like a program thing, especially for girls, especially for education, because I just feel, obviously, I'm a woman and I know what it's like to be a girl and not properly have direction, etc., etc. So if we could just find a way to limit that going forward, then I think our continent has a better chance of surviving, because women are nurturers, which means women are multipliers. They make anything work.
Yeah.
And then, my biggest thing personally would just to continue having money, guys, so I can continue flourishing and living a life that I want and being comfortable and being able to take that money and plow it back to other people the way that I've been doing.
Well, you're doing amazing things. You're honestly doing so much, and
Thank you.
it's an honor and
Thank
a
you.
privilege to actually sit down. Nami saying totally my nuggets that your clients get when you sit down.
Yay!
So I'm very thankful for that, and I just wish you so much more money, more opportunities, more,
please, Bazalwane.
more grace, more beauty. You are looking stunning today. I'll say it again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And I
you.
honestly appreciate.
Thank you for this platform. Thank you for this platform. It's very nice to see. Yesterday, I was actually going through your YouTube channel. It's very nice to see young women from my own country really venturing into digital spaces, because Eswatini, sometimes a lot of things they are put up.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like maybe at Kaput, but we just don't know about them, or we feel like we're afraid to tap into them. So it's refreshing to see a young woman who really has taken that baton and is flying with it. So I wish to see this platform grow. Hopefully I'll be back for another interview in another couple of years when it's now a bigger platform, and have other things to share. So you're doing great, babe. You're doing great. Keep doing it. Keep that
coming
up.
from you, I'm gonna have a big hit for like the rest of the day. I'm just gonna be like, Mbali said I'm dope.
Thank you, big head. You deserve it.
Thank you so much for your time. I hope you'll have a lovely day. The rest of your day will be lovely.
Thanks, my darling. You too, and all the best. Keep growing, keep growing, keep growing.
Thank you.